Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I would like to introduce you to the incredible Aga, who you have probably done her lesson on Friday, EFT for overwhelm. And I know from the comments that everyone loved it. Everyone found something from it. And so we thought we'd do a live Q&A this evening. So, Aga, would you like to introduce yourself, who you are and what you do?
Hi, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for having me here today. And I'm so looking forward to answer all the questions because they're amazing questions. So my name is Aga Kahinde, and I'm a health and empowerment coach. I have many hats on. I'm a clinical nurse specialist, still working in the hospital. I'm a cancer educator. I'm also a coach working with cancer patients, and I'm EFT practitioner. That is my main modality that I use when I'm working with people. So basically what I do, I kind of help people to gain control back of the, difficult times in their life, whatever that may be, the challenges that they may be experiencing. And I co-create with them the health and well-being strategies that basically transform their behaviors, their health, relationship performance, you name it. So yes, that's me.
Amazing. A busy lady. Thank you for joining us this evening. And we have, when the new platform launches, lots and lots of your lessons, which I can't wait for everyone to see. Like I said, everyone did your one on overwhelm on Friday, and that has led to lots of questions. So I'm going to throw them at you if you don't mind.
Let's shoot away. I'll do my best.
Okay, so the first one that we had was, I sometimes feel a bit sick and dizzy from tapping. Is that normal?
That's a brilliant question. And, just to let you know that while this tool, EFT tapping, and if you've done the lesson, that's brilliant, you know a little bit about it. And hopefully you had the chance to go away as well and read up on it and do your little research. It's a very easy tool. It's very safe. But we need to remember that, it is a tool, and we are working with energy, we're working with past traumatic events, we're working with emotions, and we're working on subconscious level. So there's always going to be a little bit of backlash of stuff because we're going deep, even though it feels like we don't. And another thing is that we do want to get stress in order to process the stress. But that comes with a price of, when you put your body in stress, your body will release the stress hormones. So you will have adrenaline, noradrenaline, and that is a toxin. So we process those things very quickly with EFT tapping. That's the whole point of it. And then you are left with the toxins, and that makes you feel a little bit of washed down. So what we do, and all energy therapists will advise you to do the same. So it's rest afterwards. There's 3 things that I will advise people to do: to rest, drink a lot of water to flush the toxin, and also don't overthink. So let things work in your subconscious. So I would normally go and watch some, Friends is my to go to. When I'm like, I've done a lot of processing, I'll go and watch Friends for hour or two, just to kind of let things happen in your subconsciously. It's normal, it's safe, nothing to worry about. Support your body, rest, drink, and don't think, and it will be fine.
Amazing. So guys, watch Friends. If you're feeling dizzy, you need some friends in your life. I agree.
Maybe don't as well. There is another disclaimer: don't use it when you're driving. If you know that you are very in tune with your energy, so whatever tapping you do, some people feel busy after meditation because it's energetic work. So maybe do when you're sitting. So give yourself a few minutes before you stand up. But it's fine. It's nothing to be worried about.
Nice, good. Okay, the next question. When tapping, do you only tap one side of the body? As I know from reflexology, Indian head massage, that you would normally work on both sides of the body.
Right. So there is no clinical evidence. There was no research done whether there is a difference if you do tap on one side or another side. There was some research done in a way that whether you do need to use the tapping on the points or just use the words, and that research actually showed that there is a difference. So the tapping element is really, really important. And no, it doesn't matter. I haven't come across in my practice that there's a big difference. So you can tap on one side, go one round, and if you want, you can tap on another side. Some practitioners in their teaching say that it's better to tap with your dominant hand, and then go on the side that you're comfortable with. But I think because you stimulate the central points and you stimulate your amygdala is one central point, it's fine. And you don't need to remember to do one side and then the other side, just do whatever you feel. But the order is important. So you start from the beginning of the eyebrow. That's the clinical EFT tapping protocol. So you start from the beginning of the eyebrow, you go round, and you finish on the top. So that has a meaning.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I automatically use my left hand, which is my dominant hand, when I'm tapping, and I was like, oh, do I need to be using my other hand? But yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. Lovely. Okay, next question. I just can't relax when tapping. I actually find it stresses me out more. Is there a reason for this, or am I doing something wrong?
No, you're definitely not doing anything wrong. That's absolutely fine. And I from the experience, I know if you get, so we're starting from the point, and if you watch the video, I always do the subjective units of the stress. So we are measuring the outcome of our tapping, right? And it's important to do it, guys. So whatever you do tapping, always measure, because one, it motivates you. Two, gives you an outcome straight away, gives you feedback if it works or not. But three, you can work with that very well. So if your number of being distressed increases, that means you hit the spot, right? So then you probably, what you may do is you're not doing long enough to decrease that number. So stick with it until the number gets down. So you go up, you will be a little bit more stressed, or maybe other emotions will come up. All of a sudden people feel, I start with being anxious and I end up with being like sad, disappointed, angry. So other emotions may come up. So keep tapping until you reduce that number to being comfortable. So, with every tools that going inwards, so meditation, yoga, breath works and stuff like that, they will take you to an uncomfortable place. So now it's up to you if you are stopping at that space, because now you start fearing, well, if I'm going to go a little bit further, it's going to be even more uncomfortable. With tapping, it's actually going to go up and very quickly will go down if you just stick with it and tap, tap, tap until that reduces to 0 or 1.
Yeah, that's very true. And it is with everything, like you say, like mindfulness. Sometimes you sit there and you reach something that's really uncomfortable and you think, if I stop now, am I always going to be uncomfortable? But actually, sometimes it's just getting through that part and getting to the other side. And yeah, I mean, in terms of like the videos that you've done for us, people can just rewind them and go again, until that number reduces. I think that's a good way to go.
That's a really important one. And I think that's with tapping, with clinical protocols of tapping, this is, I found tapping so absolutely fascinating, and required a little bit more conscious engagement. So if I meditate and I get into that discomfort, very quickly I run away from it. With tapping, it's you using actually physical tapping on the body. So you can focus only on that physical side of it, and all of a sudden you feel that release. And I think that's a big advantage to this tool.
Yeah, I agree. Very good. Okay, next question that I've got. Oh, this is a good one, probably one that I would ask. How often would you recommend EFT on a weekly or monthly basis? Is it something you should practice often?
Okay, so that's a really good question, actually. A lot of people ask me that question. Well, so it depends where you're starting. What's your starting point? So let's say if someone comes to me as a practitioner, I work with people. That depends where they are and what they want to achieve. So let's say I work with a lot of people with physical diseases and that sort of things, and they coming to me in the state of a high anxiety, the override, neural system, that sort of thing. So they hyper alert. So what we want to do, we want to reduce that very quickly. We want to bring this homeostasis, so bring them into that calm, neutral mode very quickly. Yeah. So we will do tapping ad hoc. So, wherever they feel that they triggered or they've got this hyperactivity, they will tap. So I said, tap as much as possible. Tap on the daily basis, 3 times a day, wherever, your kids trigger you, you go in to see your doctor and, the thought about this will trigger you. So tap, 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 just to reduce that. Nothing else. Then we're moving into the next stage when we become a little bit more intentional with your tapping, right? So let's say you're fine, but now you've got a job interview, right? And you're going to get anxious. So what you do then, you start tapping and maybe journaling. So using other tools that, you tap, tap, tap in the morning, thinking about your interview, and then things will come to you. Okay, well, I'm tapping because I'm stressed, but if all of a sudden I feel like, I'm scared of being judged or rejected. So those are linked into something else. So you're very intentional with tapping. So what we do, we ask people to write those things that coming to them while they're tapping, right? And then tap on each of them separately, because you will know. So that's next step. And then I introduce tapping as a part of the daily routine. So it's almost like preventative. I do that with my kids, so we do tap on the weekly basis. We sit, we do a little bit like, coaching cards, that sort of thing. So we're talking about, how your week went at school. We process things, but we are tapping at the same time, because what we want to do, we want to kind of cleanse all the emotional overwhelm and charge. We don't want to be that pressure cooker to get to the point and then tap. You want to reduce those emotional stages on the regular basis. So do facial cleanse, you do emotional cleanse.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And I started tapping. I mean, I tried it, and then I kind of didn't get on with it, and then tried it again. And then since meeting you and doing your videos, obviously I'm the lucky one because I've been editing them. No one else has seen them yet. But I've been doing it regularly, and I found that I want to do it just to process things, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything big. It doesn't need to be that I'm anxious or overwhelmed. I just feel like tapping, and it is, I feel like I'm getting into a habit of it. And then I was like, oh, am I tapping too much? Like, can you tap too much? But yeah, so I definitely
never too much. Let me tell you, if like us EFT practitioners, we've tapped on every single thing, and it's really interesting because you're starting to, it's like peeling off the onion. You start tapping on things that you didn't even think that you may want to tap on, but also just for relaxation, it's fine as well, because it just helps you on the physical level reduce your cortisol, adrenaline, testosterone. There are clinical trials that are actually showing, the reduction of those hormones. I sometimes, tap when I have this like premenstrual feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like this is, am I anxious? I'm not anxious. What's going on in here? I'm not sure what that is. So I just tap and I go like, even though I don't know what it is, even though I'm not sure what I feel at the moment, and I tap, and then all of a sudden it releases. Oh, actually, this is linked to that.
Yeah.
To get that clarity as well.
I think it must be really, really good for grounding, just in general. It's bringing your awareness back to your body, isn't it? And I think we've got a couple of videos from yours that are specifically grounding and anxiety, and they are really good. I can promise you guys, you're going to love them because I can't stop watching them. So
it's really interesting with grounding, especially, because grounding is all about breathing into your body. So, to embody whatever you kind of out there with the anxiety and overwhelm and all that sort of thing. So grounding for me is like, I need to feel it in my body. And, my before I even knew EFT, my natural way of kind of, getting out of very anxious state was like, oh my goodness, I'm so stressed. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, it's just like, I'm already tapping.
You were born to tap.
Yeah, and also it's really good for kids. Kids absolutely bond with this tool so quickly because it just brings them into their body. So my kids will go like, you know, like that, double tap. And they reverse to it very quickly now.
That's really interesting. I feel like a lot of people, I know a lot of people here with kids teach them things like mindfulness, and they'll use like coaching cards and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something, and it is obviously safe for children to use because it's, you know, it is just holistic. It's beautiful and wonderful, and it's, yeah.
Absolutely. And, you know, another thing that I add when I work with my clients, and it works very well for kids. So I start to do that on kids. I kind of combine two more modalities. So I'm an NLP practitioner as well, and I work with like sub-modalities. So, you know, the colors, the sounds, that sort of things. So with kids, when let's say I do a little bit of tapping with past experiences of my son, let's say at school or something, and he got angry. So we will tap, and I will ask him a question. So, you know, what color is that feeling that you feel? Where is it? So he will go like, oh, it's in my throat and it's red. And I was like, okay, so what temperature is it? And he will like, oh, this, and it will go like, you know, this red hot feeling in my throat, this red, you know, painful throbbing feeling in my throat. So we will name it. And for kids, it's amazing because you already teach them that emotions and experiences and adverse events are very somatic. They in your body. So placing them somewhere, giving them a color, it gives them a tool to recognize and play with it a little bit. You know, we then change the temperature, we change the colors, we change the sizes, we make from very hot red to very cold, and you know, it's just absolutely fascinating. And working with it works so well.
That does sound really interesting. Okay, I think this is the last question. We have like shot through these. Okay, but this is a big question, I think. What would you say tapping is best for? Things like overwhelm and anxiety, or can you use it just like meditation to relax too?
Oh, another really good question. Right, so I'm going to say it. But I'm going to actually provide you with the evidence for it. It's good for everything, right? And I know a lot of people, and tap on that, will say if something is good for everything, it's not good for, it's good for nothing. That's the yeah, right. So we have the same in Polish. But I want you to think about EFT and its common denominator that the EFT works with, and that is stress, right? So that is your response to anything that is either against your beliefs or is uncomfortable or makes you having that stress response, right? And you could put everything to it. So look at the, you know, food cravings. So why are you going in for food, you know, emotional eating, that sort of things. Look for anxieties. You know, this is like I'm predicting something's going to happen and I'm kind of building a story around that. So my narrative makes me react to it like that, right? My past experiences. So anything that happened in your life since you were a little child, any adverse events, or even, you know, not big T traumas, the small repetitive T traumas. So, you know, you can start tapping on, let's say I'm scared of public speaking, and then you start tapping on it, and then all of a sudden you remember, because, you know, while we're tapping, we send the signal to amygdala. Amygdala sits next to hippocampus, which is our memory center, so we stimulate those things, and then all of a sudden the memory comes up while we're tapping, right? And you know, if you start tapping, you will notice that yourself. And then all of a sudden, you know, I start tapping on, I'm really anxious about public speaking. And then the memory comes up when I was 7 or 8 years old, and the teacher told me in front of the class that my homework was crap, and I felt the same feeling I'm feeling now of being judged, you know, not good enough. All those things are coming up. So then, you know, write that down, go back, tap on those memories. So, you know, you tap on everything, really, anything that causes you stress. Don't know if that answers your question, but
I think it does. And what's really interesting is we actually had a lesson today with CBT therapist Rach, who spoke about worries and the what if, you know, what if this happens? That I would think is a perfect time to tap, you know, to get rid of that what if feeling, and to kind of, and then journal, like you said, afterwards, you know, the what if, the hypothetical worries and anxieties that probably do come from somewhere else. They definitely do come from somewhere else.
Absolutely. It's about, you know, what we believe may happen, Right, so it's like, if I do this, so that's my question when I do work with tapping with people. If I do this, what will happen, or what I think may happen, and then we tap on that. So I'm going to be judged, So even though I'm and we kind of get that real. So this fear that you have, even though its prediction is not real per se, for you feels really real. So your body responds as it happens. So that's how you need to tap. So you go, even though I am going to be judged. So you're naming it exactly how it's going to happen. So you make your body respond to it, and then you're calming it down at the same time. So the next time you go into that place again, your body won't react as, and that's the beauty of tapping. What you do, you reduce the normal reaction level that you would have into much lower. So the next time that happens, you don't have that intensity. And there are clinical trials now, kind of comparing the talking therapies with the EFT. So there is a study showing this the comparison CBT with EFT, which CBT is absolutely amazing. I use CBT a lot because not everyone tunes into EFT immediately. So we use other different modalities. So CBT is one of them. But there was a study that the outcome is similar. It's just how quickly EFT works. So 12 weeks versus 6. And then how long lasting is that change that you've made. So EFT, there's no comparison. It's just long lasting. It's almost it stays forever. So just give it a go and try for different things.
Amazing. Like I said, everyone, there are lots and lots of lessons going up soon on the new platform, and we're going to have lots and lots more and more lives. I think we were saying a live tapping lesson would be really, really good, and that gives people an opportunity to discuss how they feel about it at the same time as everyone else as well. So I think that would be really, really good.
Yes, can I just follow on that, just for kind of safety, because a lot of people when they hear about, oh my god, I'll have to talk about my emotions. With tapping, what's amazing that we don't need to know the story. What we need to know is like what's happening right now. So and there is another thing, and read on that because we don't have time to talk about it, but there is something what we call a borrowing benefits. So let's say, I tap with you for you. So let's say you Bex, say, well, I'm really anxious right now, and we're going to tap. And there's a few people in the room, and we all tap for you. Every single person in that room going to benefit from that tapping on anxiety on different levels. So we all tune into that, and that is amazing. I'm just starting the group for cancer patients, and it's just I can't wait to use this tool in the group settings. It's amazing.
That sounds really, really good, really interesting, and I guess that's that kind of. Oh, I don't know, like that hive mind maybe working together, and wow, yeah. Maybe we should do a Zoom one and we can all tap together. That'd be really good.
Exactly, that would be brilliant.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds really good. Well, thank you so much for coming this evening. I'm so excited. Anyone that hasn't watched Friday's lesson yet, please go watch it. Let us know what you think. If you have any other questions, just pop them somewhere, and then I can always get back to you with the answers. And we will see you again, hopefully very, very soon. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you. Like I said, any questions, pop them in the comments and we'll get back to you. Take care.
Great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.